thing going for you, man?
Good, man. Good. Good.
Glad to hear that. Usually I do music, but today we're gonna do something a little different because you're doing something impactful and people hear your story as well.
Yep.
So we gonna get started. So check this out, y'all. This is the boy AD coming from Pusher Independent Radio and Indie Hard. Today I have with me a special guest, uh, joined by a certified life coach, public speaker, safe guns, store activist, and a president of the Life Like Essa Project. A man turning pain into purpose. I want to introduce my friend, brother, Fon Dockery. So how you
Thank you
doing
for
today?
Thank you for
Hey,
having
no problem. I'm glad you're here on the platform. Pretty much like we just gonna talk. Pretty much, I have a script, but we don't stick to it. We just flow with it, and we just pretty much just have like a little cookout. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, let's
So,
do it, man.
so we're gonna highlight your 15 years of leadership in logistics, dealing with gun violence, and your contribution to Senate Bill 161, gun safe education. So pretty much, I'm showing up today mentally, spiritually.
I can answer that question with one word, and that's present. Like throughout all that's transpired over the last, and I ain't even just gonna date back to losing my daughter. I'm gonna date further back than that, 15 to 20 years, bro. I have positioned myself through experience, education, and other leaders around me, mentors around me, who are willing to pour into me, who are willing to take time and be patient with me and allow me the experience to grow and learn. I think right now I can honestly say that I am the most present mentally, emotionally, and spiritually that I've ever been in my life.
So about you being where you at, what are your I guess what advice would you give to people that are going through grief, addict situation, how to deal with it and also how to work through it?
You know, grief is a grief is a funny beast, right? One thing that I've learned about grief is both through experience and education is that I know how to feel. I know how to emote. That ain't the problem. The problem is grief is something you can't control.
Right.
And there's an old pastor who said this one time, and I learned it from my therapist that soon as you get your finger on grief and you think you got it calm and control and it ain't bothering you, bam, it shows up. And what I've learned as the best advice with grief, and it's difficult to accept, right, is that there's no way around grief. There's no way underneath it. Suppressing it, don't stop it. Covering it, don't remove it. I've learned, and I am now teaching others to learn how to build enough emotional safety and nervous system safety to learn to navigate the emotional waves of grief. Not try to hush them, not try to cover them, not try to talk yourself out of walking through them when they show up, but having the emotional presence, the nervous system safety to be able to show up and say, I'm sad right now and I don't need you to fix nothing.
Right.
I don't want to leave. I just want to be sad in this moment because it's going to pass and I'm going to come back to myself. So and that I'll be honest with you, that's one of the most difficult things that I teach is a lot of people show up to me and they look at where I am and they want what I have, but what they don't understand is I don't have a magic pill. I don't have a button. I don't have a template that just cuts it and gets you to where I am. The only way to any place similar to where I am, which grief is incredibly individual, is through it.
And I get that because a lot of people go to a lot. It comes, people e- think they can help or they think they understand what you're going through, and sometimes they don't talk about it. So, like, how do you deal with that? Like, people want to understand you, but you just at that point just want to be left alone.
The biggest thing that I've learned about grief
Yes.
is the biggest support that you can give anyone that's grieving is a present heart and a listening ear.
Right.
So your advice may be spot on, but it may be the wrong time because you don't know where I am.
Right.
Um, you know, a lot of people, and I say this consistently, you don't have to always know what to say. As a fact, I don't need words a lot of times. Sometimes I just need you to show up and hug me or just sit there and just,
Right.
hey, it's gonna be all right. Just feel it, like breathe through it. That's some of the best advice that I could give anyone that's navigating that space where people don't understand it and they want to help you. They have good intentions, but sometimes it just ain't the time. Great, great words at the wrong time can actually hurt.
Right.
And we have to learn that through being better active listeners than showing up hoping that we'll always have the right answers.
So let's talk about starting off like you bring over 15 years of leadership experience. How did that shape you for the man that you are today?
Man, it's funny you say that because even after 15 years of leadership, man, I literally was just checking myself earlier today. Like, I've learned so much about leadership through experience and being around great leaders.
Right.
Being willing to ask the questions, being willing to align myself with mentors. And one thing that I've learned more than anything about leadership, bro, is, and this is what I bring to the table now, the the wisdom of leadership is not always in your voice. A lot of times it's in your patience, it's in your actions, it's in your ability to actively listen and ask questions that reflect, not so much as always advising and just spewing out this great book of wisdom. Like, nah, things are going to be done different ways, and that's okay sometimes. It is really about, as a leader, being that bumper. And how do I nurture and water and plant other leaders through my leadership? I don't want to be a hero of nobody's story. I want to make heroes out of other people.
And I like that. What would you say with even what you're doing now would be like the pros and cons of you being like a leader?
Um, so what we all know about leadership, anybody that's led anything, you'll know this. Um, Leadership removes privacy. Like, it's really hard to have privacy with leadership. I literally just met with one of my mentors last week, Thursday, and his advice to me at that point in that meeting, um, I hear how busy you are, and my advice to you is to make sure that you took balance. Make sure that your family don't suffer because of how busy you are, and you don't overpromise and under-deliver to your first ministry, which is your home. So that, bro, to me, again, all of that has shaped me into the person now where I speak, but I'm choosing my words more carefully. I'm choosing what and who I engage here. I would say that's the best thing that I deliver right now is now I just don't engage everything.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because it's tough out here. People want you to be a part of things and do a lot, and sometimes even as being a musician and when you're doing like what you're doing as an activist, and sometimes people call you for stuff, and you got to say no. And like, how do you deal with that when it's stuff that you know that is like true to your heart that you just have to say like, no, I can't do this.
Bro, that was the other part of the meet with my mentor. Like he was like, man, you're gonna have to get used to saying no. And no. And it's unique because I went into that closet now because there's so much going on. And it's good, right? Like there are people doing great work out in the community now. And I would love to be involved everywhere. I just can't. And even visiting there, I'm learning that it's not my assignment. And I'm not letting my ambition put me in a position to be outside of my purpose just because I want to be there. So, you know, and I'm a believer. So my faith has really been my foundation for stewarding whether I engage things or not. And again, no hard feelings. I'm there. I promote. I just can't be in position everywhere all the time. But I'm okay with it. And the cons that come with that is sometimes people get mad at me. Sometimes people, man, they throw social shade. And it's like, again, I've learned to not engage everything, man. It's okay. It's okay. My world is okay. My intentions are well. I communicate greatly. So if we can't communicate like a some things and understand that life happens and people are really busy and everybody can't be everywhere, it is what it is, man. I'm gonna pray for you and keep it out.
I like that because you do a lot, and people see like, hey, you're doing it, and they're like, it's moving good, but like because I guess what I say with a heart is, and sometimes you're a humble person, you do what you gotta do. And sometimes person's like, hey, how is he getting all this stuff, but I can't get it done. Oh, and it's a good thing that you still stay grounded because a lot of people give up and throw in the towel. So what keeps your strength going to just keep doing the things that you're doing?
Um, my wife, like, I read now more than I've ever read books in my life. I recently posted a video of me sitting under my shade tree in my backyard. No music, no nothing, and just sitting there relaxing, taking in nature. A little Yorkie jumps on my lap. Like I'm just sitting there, and I posted it. And people are so used to me being busy, right? People started commenting on it. Like, what are you doing? Like question marks, and I'm like, I get that you're used to me talking and used to me doing and moving. So I'm in a stage where I respect my rest and my stillness more than I ever had. And inside of that rest and that stillness, I'm able to gain clarity. I'm able to see where I am, where things are, and I'm able to align priorities for the missions inside of that stillness. So that honestly, man, that stillness and that peace has really allowed me to stay grounded in my faith, in my family, and in my work.
So I know that. Are you? No, we was talking a while ago. Where are you still doing drawing and all that you was doing, or have you like stepped back from that?
What was that again?
About your drawing, like drawing and all that stuff that you was doing.
Yes.
Are you still doing it, or have you like stepped back from that for a while?
So I don't do it as much as I did. But I still do. I still do pay. Me and my daughter was doing something the other day. But yeah, I actually just did into the special pieces for someone. I couldn't even special pieces for them. I wanted to wait until they got them, so I didn't spoil them because they were gifts for other people. So, but yeah, man, I still paint, and I even started doing poetry too, man.
Okay. All right. All right. So glad to know that. So we got since you do spoken word. So yeah, that's good. You got anything that you would like to share, or you just got stuff in the work?
Uh, man, what I got. You can make me dig in my toolbox. Let's see what I got.
All right.
I got a cut. That. All right. Let's see. Ooh, these are deep.
I had a poet on last week. She shout out to Poppy Poetry Corner. So we do it all here.
Okay. Yeah, I got one of these right quick.
All right.
It's titled Pain Defined. Pain Defined. In the velvet shroud of midnight hate, where pain falls deep, unyielding and raw, a heart weeps silent tears for heaven's sake. Yet in the storm, a fragile light we draw. Old wounds that bleed with memories untold. Scars like rivers on a weary soul. But time, the gentle heel, turns to gold. What once was shattered, making fragments whole, feel the fire. Let it burn into the side. For in its ashes, embers softly glow. A promise whispered on a turning tide. Rise from the depth. Let resilience flow. Those shadows linger, heavy as regret. Dawn breaks the chains. Set captive spirits free. Embrace the dawn with eyes no longer wet. For pain, my love, is not eternity. That's pain defined.
I like it, man. What was the inspiration for the poem?
I wrote that one at 1:35 in the morning.
Okay.
I was hurt. Grief was whacking me hard, bro. And everybody was asleep. And I didn't want to just sit with that emotion. I wanted to express it. And poetry is one of my healthy ways to express. So I was like, man, I'm in the doctor. And I just started rapping. And as you hear in there, I'm talking about the different viewpoints of pain, how reliable could weather it because of the unpredictability and how it related to grief so much. So it was a perfect expression for me.
Yeah, man, you're a gifted, talented brother out here. So I like to ask, because with the interviews and stuff, is there anything off limits, anything that like that you uncomfortable talking about, or you know what I'm saying? Before we go in for her.
Not really. Certain details inside of the case, but overall, now I'm good.
All right, cool. So I know when we met, I know about the situation you've been through, and we cope with like you said, grief and all that. Just going through what you went through with that situation, how did it make you a stronger person, or what type of coping mechanism did you go through at that time? And like, what would you give to advice to families out here that been through what you've been through?
Man, um, I'll be honest with you. My faith is what I lean on. Like I, a lot of people heard me saying, "Hey, forgive, I forgive you," and I still stand on it. Inside of that forgiveness, man, I was literally talking to God like, "Hey, you gonna get us through this? That's like the other way that my flesh wants to get through this. I know it ain't the right way. It ain't gonna help nobody.
Right.
So leaning on my faith prepared me to visit. So I went to therapy. I got a therapist immediately. Like I knew I could do this by myself. I knew this was bigger than me. My family got a faith. My other daughter got a faith. And we are lovers to support us. That's one of the biggest things, man. If I could tell anyone have lost a child, went through anything similar to what we went through, man. There are good people who want to support you. And there comes a point where even support can feel like it can feel abrasive.
Right.
Like and don't get it twisted. We gotta be real. There are people who only want to come be your best friends and who don't have your best interests at heart. Let's be real. I ain't gonna sugarcoat that. But what I will say is because you were highly emotional in that time, don't allow that to keep you from the good people who do want to support you, because you're gonna need that connection. Bro, I needed other men that I could call and break down crying on the phone with, because my anger had got to a point where I wanted an unhealthy coping mechanism.
Right.
I needed other men that I could invite over to the house to just sit with me around the fire pit, like, hey man, I gotta lead this family, and I don't know how to do that in this moment because I've never dealt with nothing like this. Like, again, therapy, like connection and community support. Um, and one of the biggest ones, bro, is so within my house, my youngest daughter and my wife went through this with me, literally. So we learned how to support each other and be there for each other, knowing that this process for each one of us would look different. So my wife's grief and my daughter's grief looks totally different than mine. And what I learned through therapists and education, a lot of families don't survive losing children, especially the way we did. So for me, I heard that and I took that as a goal. I put that as a goal to prioritize learning how to support each other without criticizing that our grief looked different, without trying to jam our grief into what the other one looked like. And I'll even go this far. There was one point my wife wasn't going to therapy, and I was fussing at her like, "Hey, you need to go to therapy. Like, I know you dealing with this, and I know you dealing with it in your way, but you ain't went to no therapist, and this is." And my therapist was like, "Hey, she knows that someone's available for her, you just be there to support her and allow her to come to that. And bro, it took everything in me to be like, not wanting to push her towards it, even though I know it would help her, because her process is different than mine. So it helped me to learn how to support her in a different way and how to love her in her grief right where she was at. So and bro, I went through losing my job and everything, and bro, one of the biggest blessings that ever happened to me was losing that job, because it put me in a position to be there for my wife and my daughter and in the community in ways that I never could have done if I was still at that job. So yes, the financials is different, but the fulfillment is better. The 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 fulfilling of purpose right where we are is so much better, bro. And I never would have saw that in the first month or week. And bro, the day I lost my job, I came home and I told my wife, "Hey, come back here to the backyard. I'm sitting under the shade tree," and she knew something was wrong. And I was like, "Lord, we already going through mess, and I got to tell this woman I lost my job."
Yeah.
And I just knew I was about to hear it. But when I told her, she was like, "Okay, we gonna make it. God got us." I'm looking like, you ain't gonna say nothing else? Like, she was like, "Nah."
Yeah. I mean, ain't too much there.
I mean, at that point, and again, it just showed me a level of her love and how God intended what could have been something to separate us to create intimacy for us in this time, in these moments. So, man, my advice again, look into therapy, man. You need it. Trust me, no matter how you feel and how independent you think you are, find the right one or find one. I- If you're in home with family, learn how to support each other and know that your grief can look different. It's okay that it looks different. I always tell people this: grief is incredibly individual, it's incredibly personal, but there are unhealthy coping mechanisms with grief. And that's where we have to understand that, hey, snapping on everyone and cutting at people who are trying to help you, that's unhealthy. Like taking on substances to coat it and cover it. I made a post the other day. Hey, that wine ain't gonna drown out that what's in your soul. Like, it'll make your flesh feel better for the moment, but your soul's still gonna hurt. So there are unhealthy coping mechanisms that when people address us on, and my thing is prayerfully they address us in love, we can be able to see that, hey, they're not saying that my grief ain't my grief. They're just saying that the way that I'm going about it, expressing it or not expressing it, is unhealthy, and I need to reevaluate that. So my thing is be open to different ways to grieve in healthy ways, not just because you can do it and because you want to say it's personal. Yeah, but it's personally unhealthy for you, and it's personally unhealthy for everyone connected to you. And most people that are relatively close in your home, close family, close friends, they suffer the most when people don't process their grief in healthy ways.
And I think that's one thing. Like, I'm glad when I met you because, like, I I never lost a child, but losing somebody that is a friend, just going through, and I had those moments where I was just like, people didn't understand. I was like you said, like bad coping. Like I didn't want, I thought people didn't understand, so it's like people said the wrong thing. I'm going off on them, and if one moment I'm mad, next minute I'm crying, next minute I'm like confused, like they're not here to see the progress, and it's like, but sometimes you feel like it ain't fair, and then you deal with like you said, you deal with it all. Like, you deal with the what if could I done something different?
Yeah.
Did it actually look time today? Pretty much ain't nothing you could have done, but you always had that like, could I been there or could I did something different? And so like a lot of people don't understand, and a lot of people like tell you, oh, it's gonna be okay. And sometimes when people say that, like people don't really understand like what you're really going through. Like I know, like with you guys, the sleepless nights, the just the waking up. I don't know. One minute you're mad, one minute you happy, next minute it's like But I think like when you get around people that understand, because I think probably like same with me as you. Like I had friends, but I didn't. I knew they had their own issues,
Yeah.
so I didn't want to bring my issues on them. So I said, they kind of got mad at me, was like, you could have called us. I was like, yeah, okay. They got your own stuff to go on. I don't want to be talking about, this and that. And because, you'll never know if people like, even though brands and stuff, like, I don't want to hear this or, whatever. So I dealt with that as well, where, you felt like talking about your grief to people, you felt like just dealing with it on your own? Or when did you get to a point that you just wanted to let people in to be your support system?
Yeah, man, I definitely get that. In fact, I just spoke at Compassionate Friends local chapter grief support group, and that was one of the things I told them. Like there was a point where, and I speak about it in my Simply Painful Possible, where me and my wife felt like we were losing friends, and we felt like we weren't getting invited in spaces because we coming with our daughter on our shoulder, and there are gonna be moments where things trigger us, and we felt like we would bring the room down. So we didn't want to put that on people. We was like, we'll just stay home. I ain't call. I ain't call. Like we just gonna stay right here. And it wasn't until months into that and I realized, all right, we isolated. Like, yeah, some people did make us feel like we were a burden when we came in the room, but a lot of others, that was never what they said. Our feelings, because we were highly emotional, we assumed that. So that's one of the negatives in grief is that you feel like you're a burden. But what I've learned, and I tell people this all the time, humans are supposed to be compassionate.
Right.
And your compassion don't mean that you're taking on my grief. So you don't have to be all on it. But you can be present. You can be present and make me feel like you hear me and you see me without saying, oh, well, man, we're going to have to shut everything down now because everybody crying and sad. Like, nah, we don't even want that. We don't want that. We don't want that. We just want to be in the room and everybody not staring at us and walk up to us talking about that. We invite that. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, we dealt with that. You dealt with that, and there came a point where, again, I felt like we were isolated, and I was like, "Oh, we gotta start going out. We gotta start reaching out. We gotta start getting back into some of these spaces." And yeah, it's gonna be difficult, but we aren't the first people to lose a child. There are other people functioning in society that like you. And I said that I say um, that made us feel like we weren't alone, and it empowered us to come to the place I could.
So we want to also talk about, because I know doing everything, you've done some big things out in North Carolina. So we want to talk about your legislation work and making real change where things can hopefully get better and other people have experienced the same thing that you did.
So SB 151, um, we are actually still working on it. Uh, I got with a couple of senators and some local commissioners and some people in juvenile justice, and we started discussing, hey, the problem from a data perspective.
Mhm.
And we involve law enforcement, we involve community advocates. Um, Big shout out to Demetrius Murphy, been my right hand, been really a mentor in this stuff for me.
Yeah.
But in doing that, what we formulated was, at the time, a bill that we felt like could help create more awareness to the safe firearm storage issue, and also at the same time build a accountability measure that comes with that, so that it don't just keep happening and people feel like, oh well, like oh, these are our children.
Right.
And it ain't just our children, it's happening so consistent that children are being unalive due to unsafe, unsecure firearms so much that it is the number one unalive children in North Carolina. The number one reason children are being unalive is unsecure firearms. I mean, so when we look at it like that, we spoke with other organizations who led in this area, who had experience in this area. Every Town for Gun Safety, Moms Demand Action, North Carolina Goes Against Gun Violence, Beef Money. Like there were so many other people at play when it comes to this bill. I think people, when they see it and they hear it, they're like, oh man, they come to me. I'm like, hey, we didn't do this alone. Trust me. We are not there, and we ain't been in this fight long enough to do this by ourselves. And as we continue to move forward, due to some of the support that we did get, we did end up getting the lawsuit end of it approved, and we didn't end up getting to the floor. So the goal is to come back to the table, re-strategize our approach, and then again continue to make another push until we get this in to hopefully protect more of our children from being unalive and change that number. We don't want that to be the number one reason that our children are being unalive in North Carolina. And there's things that we can do.
So is that just for like North Carolina? Is that just the bill is for North Carolina and law, or is that for nationwide?
So that's just North Carolina.
Okay.
I have spoken with some other advocate leaders in firearm safety around the country, and they are doing some great work, like chat law, and we are planning on back with them. I've had a few meetings with them about how they're doing it, how they're getting forward. They've got it passed in over 7 or 8 states. So hey, I'm trying to learn. Whatever you're doing is working. We're trying to get to the point where you can, at least for North Carolina, and then we want to come to DC. We believe this is a bigger fight than just North Carolina. Because that statistic I just told you about, that's actually in the nation too. That's all we That's
Yeah.
the issue, man. Our children deserve to live lives, man.
Right. I agree, because just I think kind of hit me was like just the fact of I can people with kids that are still here. Sometimes we as parents take it for granted, where that it's like, hey, okay, we just expect them to be here, but just thinking about, okay, because a lot of people don't do the situation of it could be me. It's like, okay, well, that's their problem. But like you have to look at it as, yeah, you know, we could walk out here in the street today and something happen. Your kids going to school, you don't know if a kid coming to school because he mad at one kid, and then he takes it out on kids, teachers because of that one situation. And it's over. We didn't know the kid needed help. That the kid probably was crying out for help, but
Yep.
nobody never said anything. But it's like these laws gotta. Cause I feel like we do more of a lot of nonsense out here instead of doing stuff that help people. Like it's
Yeah.
other stuff, that like kids and people should feel like they can walk around here and not worry about, oh, if I'm gonna be the one because something one person they mad at somebody, so they take it out like that. Well, that wasn't everybody. Oh, but it's just how things should be, but it's not. But like I admire people like you, Demetria, Samantha, and her family that you guys haven't like gave up. And I know that hearing no's and want answers and not getting the answer that you want is it's tough. But for y'all, I commend y'all for still keep going, still trying to get answers, still trying to get things passed. Like I admire all y'all for what y'all doing down there. And I like even with us sitting here having this conversation, it's different, but it needs to be heard as well because there's a lot of parents, there's a lot of people don't agree. I pretty much played 2 funerals, and I was just like, I don't really like them, but see that how the world is changing and just people just leaving out of here. It's like you can't take stuff for granted. So I look at it even like me y'all. Like I had to go back home and just be like, could take my child for because we think okay they're gonna be here, but then I was thinking I'm like, how would I feel if I got that call?
Yeah. Yep.
And so it's like people just got to realize that it could be you.
Yeah.
Don't look at it as like, you know, there's not stuff you could do regardless, being here or not, because there's a lot that can be done. You just got to like come together, just get sick and tired of it and want to check it.
Yeah. 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 And like I tell you, I could. Unfortunately, that is a consistent answer for people. What they don't understand is like I know, right? I can call up 10 parents who tell us a child, and I can give every one of these 20 parents and I call, I will tell you, they did not expect us to do their time.
Right.
Now, I'm gonna only speak for me and my wife, but my child, 100% innocent. It wasn't her that held the issue, which goes back to the point of we need to be safe because we don't know. Part of that safety is prevention. As these young people are trying out for help, they're getting the pride something. You need to be addressing this. Hey, yes, lock up, but also address the situation. Why can't you notify? Like when we see these consistent patterns, we need to address and not wait until after to say, oh, they didn't have records, so we didn't get nothing done.
Yeah.
So everybody they harmed along the way, just oh well. I'm sick of seeing that type of damage, bro. I'm sick of it, bro. We connect, and support normal families now. Dealing with that, like we're dealing with the grief of never seeing a child again. And the law doesn't have any type of real type of accountability when it comes to young people, even so bad. And it's like, bro, what are we going with? Again, my child, she don't know no, the church one didn't have hard or problems in her even thought. It was never heard about.
Yeah.
They were trained. Hey, a big knife is out. You need to stop. You don't do stuff on the door. Much less a firearm. And again, we didn't think that call.
Yeah.
until before that day when I got strong.
So what is the misunderstanding with people, I guess, about gun gun safety, safe gun storage?
Um, there's a few. I will just the main one is thinking that children aren't going to be killed.
Right.
Children have a natural curiosity. They're gonna go looking for stuff, even when you tell them not to, and they're gonna find it. The problem is when dangerous things acceptable. So as the adult, what we don't need to do is to keep telling don't be killed.
Right.
Yes, we need to tell them, hey, you get around something like this, you don't need to mess with it. You need to go get an adult. But what we don't want to do is cut away their curiosity, their natural childlike curiosity. What we need to do is to make sure things that are dangerous and harmful to children that they should not be having access to, they don't have access to it. And putting it in a drawer or under a bed or in a closet, that's not safe storage. It's not safe storage. Bro, it takes 30 to 45 seconds to put a firearm lock on. It can take less than that to put it inside of a safe.
Right.
So at the end of the day, what I'm finding, and we've traveled the state having this conversation. I've done numerous documentaries on this conversation. Unfortunately, a lot of parents, and this has been consistent across the state, a lot of parents are saying, oh, my child wouldn't do that. And what we're saying is, don't take that chance.
Yeah.
Please don't take that chance. Don't take that chance, because it might not be your child that gets the brunt of that.
Right.
Your child might accidentally or intentionally harm someone else's child. And now that family has to all behind. I didn't think they would. No, you didn't think. Now we don't get to see her never again because you didn't think.
Right.
That ain't, if the problem was not preventable, bro, I would have shut up after it happened and sat down.
Yep.
But data has proved it. Juvenile justice has proved it. Law enforcement has proved it. The courts have even proved it, whether they know it or not, that this issue, this number one issue in North Carolina and the United States, it is preventable. And we need to be more proactive about making sure that our children are able to live their entire lives.
Right. I agree. So how can the community like participate or help you like with the cause?
Um, I always tell people, hey, share these resources that we're putting out there. Show up to these events. There's going to be information and resources that a lot of people don't understand will be there, and that the community will have access to. Education about safe storage. We give away gun locks. Almost every event we go to, just about, either we are or someone is giving away gun locks. And don't just come to our events. We support a number of other people who do wonderful community work around safe storage and gun violence awareness. Heal the Veal, Drums Up, Guns Down, North Carolina is Against Gun Violence, Every Town for Gun Safety, Moms Demand Action. There are numerous, and I mean group theory. I could keep going. There are numerous groups who are actually doing phenomenal work with resources. So we're not just standing up there talking so we can be heard and be seen. Like, at these events, there are resources for families to come out and get information, stuff for kids, mental health. Mirs Maximus, that's a great organization. again, the consistency where they're showing up. I tell people, hey, if you can't come, hit the share button. It don't cost you a dime to hit the share button. We love for you to be able to support what we're doing and buy some drumsticks or buy some gun lights or hand out some flyers or show up to help us set up or tear down. But if the least thing you can do is hit the share button, hey, you supported us today. That is numerous ways that the community can really help push what we do and furthermore empower prevention and safety for our children, statewide and United States wide.
So we're gonna focus on leadership and the healing. We talk about the genesis part. Like, what is your mission behind it? How are you helping build resilience today?
So our mission is safe firearms stores. Like awareness, prevention, education, even training. But we partner alongside of so many other organizations because what I found is there are a lot of other organizations in this avenue. And what I don't want to do is, as an organization, get us hyped up to believe we're the only ones that's doing this and that everybody should just come support us. Like, I don't believe that. I believe that there are a numerous amount of people in the gun violence awareness area, safe storage area, and that as we compile and connect, our reach goes further, our impact gets higher, and our influence, it flows better when they see us working together. So then also we get to pool resources and finances and connections when we come out of these silos, as we say. But for us, it's the education, man. We're handing out information to parents. We're having conversations with parents. We're giving them gun locks. We're showing them websites where they can look at the different types of safes. We're talking them through how to put on that gun lock. Uh, we're sending them to resources like NC State, where they can go up there and get information for their kids and see videos on how to do. So as an organization, one thing that I also seen in this space, man, I, I want to stay in our lane.
Right.
I ain't trying to come in here and do a little bit of everything. We don't need to do that. There's a lot of people doing a lot, and I don't need to do what Mears Maximus is doing. They're doing a great job of what they're doing. I want to support what they're doing and partner with them, but I don't want to do what they're doing.
Right.
So our lane is safe firearm storage. That is the lane that we stay in, and that is my full intention.
All right. So we're gonna talk about you being a certified life coach. And as a certified life coach, how do you shift people's mindset? Because I know that even as you go through, is it an easy space to try to help people when you're still dealing with things that you, or is it like a therapy for you as well?
Bro, it's therapy for me too. Like for me, I'm a people person at heart. So me already loving people and loving to help others, serve others, it really helped to be able to have the education of life coaching and to have the modalities that I have to be able to help people shift and build strategy. Because that's what I do as a life coach. I give people testimony. Hey, this is possible. Like you ain't the only one. And life can make you feel like you're the only one going through this, and it's happening the worst way, like just to you. But that's life's way of cornering you in. And my job is to show you through reflection, information, and practice that that's not true. You can come out from where you are. You are stronger than you think. And we're not going to just get this moment because we want to get to better. We're going to use this moment to process our way to better. So if this moment shows that upper end, it won't take us out of what we need to be in. We'll be able to navigate it with peace, with power, and with purpose. And that comes with intention and process and dedication.
All right, okay. So with you doing all that, or do you just mainly are you working with just men, women, or like can anybody like come and talk to you?
So I am actually I've met with a I know he gonna see this imagery. He gonna get me because uh, I'm supposed to be getting my website up, man. And he gave me the tools, and I just ain't I ain't pushed and got there yet. Ain't no excuse around it. But I plan on working with everyone, man.
Okay.
I work with some people who uh, men, women. I do it safely, respectfully, and within parameters. But I usually refer a lot of people to my wife. But I do work with everyone, man.
All right. So as we about to close out in a minute, how can people find you? How can people I guess like if you can give some like major important links that they can like either come through, share, support in any way they can with you guys.
So you can find me on about all social platforms under my name. Uh, right now, that's where I am. All social platforms: TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, uh, Twitter, all those platforms under my name, Fon Dockery. And I'm very active on all of them. So if somebody sends me a message or drop something in there, I'm good about responding.
All right. So what I'm going at now, I do have one question. So this is my little fun fact. Change everything. How did you become an Eagle fan?
Oh, don't do that.
Hey, I'm an Eagle fan, so I want to know you down in North Carolina. So how did happen?
So, man, woo, I'm trying to think about my my, my Eagle starter jacket I had.
Oh, you got
The old starter jacket, right? Yo, um, so I was early when I was like early middle school, early '90s. I was a Packers fan because I was a Red.
okay. I told you about to say Dallas. How about Texas?
Nah, never had, never. And then I got older and I was like, nah, bro. And I actually found out I got some family in Philly.
Oh,
I ain't never been. I just was told, and I was like, you know what? Randall Cunningham hit the scene, and I was like, yo, this dude, Reggie White, I was doing so. All my packers giving it away, the shoes and all of it. I got his album. Hey, it's been Philly since '96, man.
you good. That's why you good people. That's why I like you. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we can get back to where our glory days this year.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah.
What we gonna do. Hey man, I appreciate you. Also, do you have any upcoming events down there in North Carolina, or just mainly just doing your thing?
It's funny you said that because I was actually thinking about um, our planning phase for a couple of events this year. We partner so much, but again, I want to stay in our lane.
Right.
I have my church is doing another men's breakfast this Saturday morning, and I'm doing a men's healing circle fire pit session this Saturday night. That fire pit session is something that was birthed from my grief also.
Right.
And I love what God is doing in that fire pit with these men, bro. Like, I'm still working on expanding it to a virtual thing too. So I forgot what you said, bro. That's what really came to me, man. I believe that expansion is very, very possible and needed.
All right. When you do something, let me know because be a part of it.
Yeah, man. So in Fayetteville, the 18th, this coming Saturday, is crazy busy. Like I know we're doing something between that period of like 1 to 4 to 5, and then my fire pit is at 5 p.m. So I'll be busy that Saturday, man. I gotta go to sleep at like 6 on Friday. Saturday, I'm gonna be going all day long.
We getting older, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, gotta get in the bed, bro. These old bones don't recover like they used to.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they really don't, man. Shoot, like 20s, you can stay up all night, but when you get to like them 40s, and you're like,
Man,
man,
get down.
it's like time be going faster or something. I don't know, man,
I ain't lying, bro.
but you doing your thing. Like I said, I'm always here to support anything y'all need. I'm there for y'all. The goal is probably what I would like to do is like pretty much get all y'all together again, so we can, pretty much everybody needs to hear these family stories because people here, it's not just a North Carolina issue or Deep South. It's the East Coast, West Coast, Midwest. People going through a lot. For people to hear y'all strength that y'all have, because even too old that y'all still have strength and still story that everybody needs to hear. So probably not problem. With your help, I'd like to try to get you all on another call so that y'all can just we can just do it. Families, we all just talk. Uh, we do it like that because this is just not. I didn't realize not music. I didn't realize what the platform for and realizing it now that it's just not just to from artists, but it's pretty much coming people that's uh, going through stuff and give people encouragement. That you go might be trouble, you might cry, and all that, but you can still make it through, and it took to be an overcomer. So I respect y'all. I don't want to support anyone I can, parent, you know, however. So
Hey, I appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate you too, man. So this is your boy, PD, hanging with my man Paul. This has been a powerful interview. We don't just do music, dope artists, dope individual, and we share like everything. So I'm your boy AD, your boy Fon, one love, and we'll be up to y'all. Take care.
All right.